Hey, welcome to the Red Sea. My name is Jesse. Before you jump into that video, make sure you visit KoolAidMan100x.com to get custom ebooks and other things that's available on the website. Link will be in the description below. Also visit the NFLShop to get yourself some Kansas City's Chiefs gear and your own personal team gear as well. And also, all the other sponsors will be in the description below. Now back to Kool-Aid.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy KoolAidMan100x. Welcome to the Red Sea. How you guys doing? We're going to be jumping into the Texas Offensive Playbook. We're going to be looking at a formation called Gun Trips Tight End. We're going to be looking at a play called Slants. Now, this is a little bit different of a play. We're utilizing slants is a little bit more different, but you can definitely understand the concept of it. But everything has a 5-step to 2-step drop in this play. So what I do like about this play, they had a running back coming off a block and release, which is really good. And we got X coming off of there. So what I like to do here for my 5-1 theory, in case you didn't know, you can definitely become a member and watch that video to understand what my 5-1 theory is. So you can definitely understand that. Make sure you check out the video and become a member. Link will be in the description below. So what we're going to be understanding is like what routes will actually make slants work a little bit more better. So we have to find our 1 and 5, which is our 1 which is our receiver, which is behind the line, which is R1, and our 2, which is the receiver that goes out around 5 yards, which is probably going to be square or triangle. But in order to find that out, we have to see how the play runs. So what we need to do here is find out who is open and who is not. So we actually figured out circle might be our number 1 for our 5, and our number 2 probably going to be triangle because I like the way he go underneath for that drag, and he beats the man in position with that, jam he's beating to as well. So pretty much our 1 is probably going to be circle, and our triangle is going to be our 5. Now to open up square, we have to test these theories to see what opens up square a little bit more. So we see that the zone is very deadly in this situation. So we have to find windows. Windows meaning that we have to find routes that makes this play open up a little bit more better within slants. So I'm going to be focusing on trying to throw the square, but I'm going to try to open up the field a little bit more by throwing a circle and triangle as my number 1 and number 2, which is my 5-1 theory. Now I can use R1, but he's on the block and release. So when I do the block and release, I can't use him as a quick pass because he's dependent on being a block and release. So if he's manned up, it's going to be kind of difficult to throw to him. So we're going to be focusing on R1, which is circle, and R2, which is triangle, and our 3rd is going to be square. Now X can be our 1. Now the reason why I say X might not can't is depending on how the zone is being played. So in that instance, you can see the zone is being played depending on the pass. So what we need to understand is that we have to find out where the zone is being thrown and how long he'll be able to get open. So we have to figure out that situation. So we want to be able to figure that situation out if he's throwing up, down, all that stuff. So this comes with having that pass, but I like to roll out in this situation. So depending on that, I'll be able to hit him on probably the rollout in case he don't jump, and I'll be able to hit that a little bit better. But overall, standing in the pocket and throwing this play is going to be kind of difficult because you stand in the pocket and throwing that X route, it's not going to work. That's why I say the 1 and 2 is probably going to be circle because circle is going to be underneath and he can play that route a little bit more better, depending on who's getting guarded by in the slot. Now that I throw to him, this actually opens up square a little bit more for that zone. That's actually an athletic play, but usually they won't be able to jump like that. Overall, that square will be right there underneath. You can throw to there. And also, we're going to be paying attention to circle. When he blitz, you can definitely hit circle there. You have him wide open that you can hit there. Give you an opportunity to move the ball further down the field. So circle and square is what we mainly focusing on in this play because circle is pretty much going to be open half of the time. And if you got a good big body wide receiver, or you can put your tight end in that position to make it even better. That way you'll be able to hit that route a little bit better. You can put your fastest wide receiver, anybody there you want to make that play a little bit more better. So the object of running this play without no adjustments is using circle and triangle to open up square. Now to throw X, you can throw that in the pocket depending on how he's playing in the corners and linebackers or slot receiver that's playing that out route. Now the problem with X is that when you throw to that route, I recommend rolling out to the right, because if you throw it in the pocket, it's pretty much you got better defensive, ability to get on it. Sometimes they'll be able to body up, sometimes they won't be able to body up in that situation. So in order to make this better, it's better to just roll out, because you see, he gets a little bit of space he can actually maneuver with, and he gets a little bit more space he can actually run up the field with. Because sometimes you can tell players to just run up the field and throw. See what I'm saying? So in certain instances, you'll be able to throw those type of plays where he just automatically be open when he rolls out. So X will probably be my fourth or third. He can switch between my fourth or third. But overall, your 1 and 2, your 1 to 5 theory is going to be your 1 circle, your 2 triangle. So that's pretty much what you want to focus on. So now you'll be seeing square wide open, just like that every time, because I opened them up by using those 3 routes with no adjustments, no nothing, just throwing the ball to the correct player that I'm actually identifying in the play, which is my hot player, hot route, blitz, pressure, pretty much anything that I can throw to, basically. So when you're understanding the concept of the play, you'll be able to hit these plays every single time easily. So once you just understand the concept. But either or, bam, you can definitely hit him when he's open if he drop back in his zone, but sometimes they'll be having them hard flat, so be careful on that. But if he's not guarding a hard flat, you can definitely break a tackle and break release at any time that you want, so be mindful of that. But overall, if he's there, you can definitely hit that window a little sooner, depending on if you got the right quarterback that can throw good hard short throws, that'll heavily hit it a little bit more better. But sometimes in the instance of you throwing hard throws, they give you very slow animation, so be mindful of that. So you have to take consideration of rack catching and all that stuff too as well. So that comes into play too. That's why I kind of don't like the other controls, because they don't give you that cinematic of switching back to the players, like a little bit of a delay in a way. So you have to take that into consideration too as well. So make sure you practice. That's why I mostly play on classic, because I can switch to my player faster and be able to do the rack catch, position catch, stuff like that. So depending on who's open, who's not, you can definitely utilize that in time you want. So be mindful of that. But overall, circle and triangle is going to be your 2 main players you want to worry about. Now for the block release, that comes to either or. So to run a block release, you have to pay attention to that, but I really don't make that a mind for this, because you see how he comes off late waiting for it, and you want to make sure you understand what's happening in that situation. So when you run a block release, and sometimes he actually do a full block, but sometimes he doesn't get the block when you roll into that direction, which Madden need to fix actually. And when they're rolling, I believe my block should follow. So in this instance, you waiting for him to jump off and throw, which would be better, because I feel as though if he can break through that hole right there, which, the hole that he can break to in between the tackles, will make it a little bit more easier. So that's just me in general thinking that. But overall, in this formation, I would just focus on circle and triangle. And my third would be square and X. But overall, if you can roll out to the, to the right in case you can, and get that nice possession catch, you will be able to hit that automatically. So be mindful of that. This play is doable. I actually showed you how to run this play with no adjustments. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the time of it, and utilizing this play in so many different ways that you can do to make slants a little bit more effective for you to run down the field, or if not, goal line. So you can definitely practice that in goal line. And also, if you like my 5-to-1 theory tactic, definitely become a member. Video will be available there for you guys to watch. This will be available for all Maddens in the future. That's what I'm gonna set it up to be. So thank you guys. I'm gonna catch you guys in the next video.